The top stories. Barbados told to stick to what it does best. Lewis Hamilton is coming to Bushy Park, and bank workers in the Bahamas warned they may have to accept pay cuts. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, February the 20th, 2014.
At Courts, every day we bring affordability, convenience, innovation, and style to over 1 million customers in 11 countries. From homes to communities, we are proud to make a difference in the lives of many across the region. Courts, bringing value home.
A highly respected American economist has advised Barbados to concentrate on what it does best, tourism, for example. Fred Bernstein was asked during a televised forum about diversification of the local economy, which has been promoted by some as necessary for the country's recovery. But Mr. Bernstein, who is winding down a residency at the central bank, said there was danger in Barbados trying to chase too many sectors.
Small economies, whether in the Caribbean or elsewhere, really do have to focus, I think, on a relatively small number of economic niches. If you try to diversify across your economy too widely and try to pursue too many ventures of different industrial sorts, you really run a risk of doing nothing well. Now that may sound like harsh medicine, but in fact I think it's true. As a good trade economist, I hope, I believe in the principle of comparative advantage. And that says do more of what you do best. Now, if you're a huge continental economy, China, the United States, a few others, you of course can pursue a wide variety of industry and services and some agriculture as well. But if you're a small economy, I think you really do have to emphasize those few things that you do best and try to make sure that you do them really well. And really well means on a globally competitive basis.
Mr. Bernstein said Barbados needed to look beyond its traditional markets to those that are growing most rapidly, namely Latin America, Brazil, and Eastern Asia, particularly China. Mr. Bernstein is known for building the Peterson Institute for International Economics, what the Washington Post called the incomparable shop on the global economy. CIBC First Caribbean have opened a new state-of-the-art flagship retail branch in Warrens, with officials signaling confidence that the Barbados economy will rebound. The building cost $10 million, and CEO Rick Parkhill says CIBC has a healthy banking operation in Barbados, even though the economy has its challenges.
I believe that this is going to be the way forward for us in the Caribbean, and I think this is a start of sort of the transformation of our retail banking business here. And I think it's also, despite the difficult economic times and the challenges, that this is, it's quite a strong statement that we have confidence in the future and that we're positioning the bank for growth in the future, not only in Barbados but also around the region.
In Caribbean news, a senior Bahamas labor unionist has warned bank workers that they might have to consider salary cuts to avoid further layoffs. Scotiabank, RBC, and CIBC First Caribbean have indicated that more job losses are likely. The General Secretary of the Bahamas Financial Services Union, Lashon Sawyer, says pay cuts may be one option to save jobs. He says the government will also have to find ways of reducing the high cost of doing business in the country. Jamaica is tightening up rules for personal watercraft in the wake of an American vacationer's death. Tourism Minister Wickham McNeil has announced that all personal watercraft activities have been temporarily suspended while efforts are made to register the machines and beef up enforcement by marine police. He says a ban on importing new personal watercraft like jet skis has been extended until October. Fines have been also increased for violations of rules such as riding close to shore. Last month, a Las Vegas man died after being struck in the head by a jet ski off Negril's swimming beach. The operator sped off as beachgoers jumped into the water to pull the man to shore. The government of Puerto Rico is cracking down on tax evaders to increase revenue and help pay off $70 billion in public debt after recent downgrades put the island's credit rating into junk status. Treasury Secretary Melba Acosta said a task force had been set up to target both business owners and individuals, adding that authorities are investigating more than 100 cases and more are expected to follow. 2 business owners have already been charged with 36 counts of tax evasion and illegal appropriation.
The history, the legacy, the rivalry, the passion. We versus them. West Indies versus England. 3 T20s, March 9th, 11th, and 13th at the Mecca. We versus them.
In sport, Dwayne Smith is to defend his Caribbean single-wicket cricket title in Trinidad in June. Smith was the most valuable player in the West Indies Super 50 crown won by Barbados last week and won a recall to the West Indies team. Smith defeated Guyana's Christopher Barnwell in last year's single-wicket final. Lewis Hamilton is coming to Barbados for the Top Gear Motoring Festival. It has been announced that the 2008 Formula One World Champion and one of the fastest men on wheels will join the lineup for the festival at the Bushy Park Circuit on the weekend of May 17th and 18th. Hamilton has Caribbean roots. His paternal grandparents are from Grenada. In a release announcing his participation, he's quoted as saying he cannot wait to touch down in Barbados and that he loves the island. It's a coup for the Top Gear Festival and the Barbados Tourism Authority, whose Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Petra Roth, said the addition of Hamilton makes the festival the ultimate event taking place in the Caribbean. Thrilling stunts, races and challenges will dominate the weekend, which will also see the opening round of the Global Rally Cross Series.
Sports was brought to you by We versus Them, West Indies versus England series.
And finally, a vintage car specialist in Britain returned from a Caribbean cruise to discover that his customers thought he was dead. 74-year-old Lloyd Bryan said his business lost thousands of dollars due to false claims about his passing made on Facebook. A custom car forum even started a tribute page online, even though Bryan is not an internet user. But it was all a hoax, and Lloyd, who is black, has no idea who started the cruel rumors, though he suspects jealous rivals are to blame. That's Nation News for Thursday. Look out for the New Look Weekend Nation as gospel singer Paula Hines talks about her somewhat controversial hairstyle.